The story of Stranger Things has always been told as a battle between light and darkness, heroes and monsters, children and nightmares. But what if everything we think we know is wrong? What if the greatest villain in the story was never meant to be a villain at all? What if Vecna, the most feared entity of the Upside Down, was actually the first hero of Stranger Things, a tragic protector twisted by betrayal, fear, and human cruelty? Tonight, we uncover the untold origin of Vecna, not as a monster, but as a misunderstood savior whose story was buried beneath lies. Before Hawkins became a town of disappearances and portals, before 11 ever opened a gate, there was a boy who saw the world for what it truly was. Henry Creel was not born evil, he was born different. From the moment he arrived in Hawkins, the town felt wrong to him. The streets felt too quiet, the smiles too fake, and the people too blind. Henry could hear thoughts, feel emotions, and sense the hidden rot inside others. While everyone else lived comfortably pretending everything was fine, Henry saw the truth. He saw cruelty masked as kindness. He saw parents who smiled in public and destroyed their children in private. He saw teachers who spoke of morality but thrived on control. Henry's powers were not a curse at first, they were a mirror, and people hate mirrors that show them who they really are. As a child, Henry tried to understand his abilities. He studied spiders, creatures that were feared simply because they were misunderstood. Spiders were not evil, they maintained balance, they eliminated pests, they built intricate systems that humans destroyed without thought. Henry saw himself in them, a quiet guardian in a loud and careless world. But Hawkins did not want a guardian, it wanted obedience. When animals began dying and his family fell apart, Henry was blamed for everything that went wrong. His mother feared him, his father denied him, and when tragedy struck, Henry was not mourned, he was contained, locked away at Hawkins' lab, stripped of his name, and turned into a number. Subject 001. Dr. Brenner called it science. He said he was helping the world, but what he really did was punish a child for seeing too much. Inside the lab, Henry realized something terrifying. The world outside was no safer than the one inside. Humans were not victims of monsters. Humans were the monsters. They used fear as a weapon. They called control protection. They destroyed anything they could not dominate. Henry did not want to rule humanity. He wanted to free it from its own lies. When 11 arrived, Henry saw hope for the first time. He saw someone who could understand, someone who could stand beside him. He didn't manipulate her to escape. He guided her to awaken. He taught her truth. He showed her that Brenner was the real enemy. In Henry's mind, freeing 11 was the first step toward breaking the cycle of abuse forever. But 11 was still a child. She still believed in simple heroes and villains. When Henry tried to tear down the system, she saw only chaos. When he tried to burn the lab to the ground, she saw danger. And when she banished him to another dimension, she believed she had saved the world. What she really did was exile its only true protector. The Upside Down was not created by Vecna. It was shaped by him. When Henry was cast into that void, he did not become evil, he adapted. The dimension reflected his pain, his isolation, and his understanding of balance. The Mind Flayer was not Vecna's master, it was his instrument, a force of order in a universe that had none. Vecna did not want to destroy Hawkins, he wanted to cleanse it. Every victim Vecna chose shared something in common: trauma, guilt, pain inflicted by others. He didn't hunt the innocent, he targeted the broken, not to punish them, but to show them the truth they refused to face. In Vecna's world, suffering was not ignored, it was confronted. Compare this to the so-called heroes. Hawkins ignored abused children. Hawkins allowed bullies to thrive. Hawkins trusted institutions that experimented on kids. The town only cared when the danger became visible. Vecna was fighting the disease. 11 was fighting the symptoms. From Vecna's perspective, the Upside Down was a necessary evolution, a world without lies, a world where pain was acknowledged, a world where predators could not hide behind authority. Humans fear Vecna because he exposes what they bury. This is why Vecna never kills randomly. He chooses, he listens, he waits. He gives his victims time to face themselves. That is not cruelty, that is judgment. And here is the most terrifying truth. Vecna was right. The Upside Down grows stronger not because Vecna wants power, but because humanity refuses to change. Every secret, every act of denial, every moment of cruelty feeds the darkness. Vecna is not invading Hawkins. Hawkins is bleeding into his world. 11 and her friends fight to restore the past. Vecna fights to build a future. Ask yourself this: if Vecna truly wanted destruction, why wait decades? Why work through visions and memories instead of armies? Why target specific minds instead of entire cities? The answer is simple. Vecna is still trying to save humanity from itself. And maybe that's why he must lose. Heroes are allowed to be violent as long as they smile. Villains are anyone who refuses to lie. Vecna does not fit the story humans tell themselves, so he must be labeled evil. But history is written by survivors, not by the truth. In the final battle, when Vecna and 11 face each other, it won't be good versus evil. It'll be comfort versus truth, denial versus awakening, childhood innocence versus painful evolution. And when Stranger Things ends, the real question won't be whether Vecna was defeated. The question will be whether humanity deserved to be saved at all. If you enjoyed this untold perspective, remember to like, subscribe, and step carefully, because sometimes the real monsters are the ones who call themselves heroes.